In 2009, this little device was everywhere. Politicians carried it. Executives couldn't put it down. This was BlackBerry. A few years later, it was gone. Almost overnight, everyone had moved on. So what actually happened? How does a company go from ruling the world's pockets to disappearing so fast? The story starts back in 1984 in a small Canadian town with two engineering friends and a big idea about wireless technology. For years, they built pagers and wireless data tools, quietly perfecting the technology nobody else had figured out yet. Then a sharp businessman joined the company, and together they had exactly what they needed: brilliant engineering and someone who knew how to sell it. In 1999, they launched the first BlackBerry, a phone that could send secure email on the go. Nothing else like it existed. Businesses loved it. It felt safe. It felt serious. And soon, everyone who needed to stay connected wanted one. By the mid-2000s, BlackBerry wasn't just a phone. It was a symbol of being important enough to always be reachable. Sales exploded. BlackBerry captured a huge share of the market and became the most valuable phone brand on the planet. Then, in 2007, a new phone was announced. It had no physical keyboard. It had a full touchscreen. Nobody had tried this before. BlackBerry's leaders looked at it and weren't worried. They believed people would never give up their keyboard for a piece of glass. They kept doing what had always worked. Small, secure, efficient. That's what built the company, so why change now? But customers started looking somewhere else. The new touchscreen phone did more. Music, apps, a browser that actually worked well. BlackBerry rushed out its own touchscreen phone to compete. It felt unfinished, and people could tell. Sales started slipping. The company that once defined mobile phones was suddenly playing catch-up in its own game. Inside the company, things weren't smooth either. The two leaders at the top were clashing, and decisions were getting harder to make. On top of that, past decisions about company stock came back to haunt them, adding legal trouble to an already shaky moment. As profits shrank, the company had to make painful cuts, laying off thousands of employees who had helped build it. A new CEO stepped in with a new operating system, hoping it could turn things around. But it arrived years later than it should have. By then, the market had already moved on. Time, the one thing BlackBerry couldn't buy back, had simply run out. Eventually, the company let go of making phones altogether and shifted quietly into software and security instead. BlackBerry's downfall wasn't really about bad engineering. It was about believing so strongly in what worked before that they couldn't see what customers wanted next. Being the best at something today doesn't guarantee you'll still be the best tomorrow. Sometimes, the biggest risk is simply refusing to change. If you enjoyed this story, give it a like. It really helps this channel grow. And hit subscribe with the bell on so you don't miss the next one.